Well, hey there, and welcome to Board to Learn, the channel dedicated to helping you learn how to play your new games faster. My name is Kent, and today we're looking at Heat, Pedal to the Metal, a hand management racing game for 1 to 6 players. So, meet me at the table, and we'll get started. In Heat, Pedal to the Metal, players race around the track trying to push their cars to the limit and be the first driver across the finish line. Each round, you'll shift gears, choose cards from your hand, and use those cards to determine how fast your car moves. But racing isn't just about going as fast as possible. Push too hard through the corners, and your engine can overheat, causing you to lose control. Throughout the race, you'll use heat cards to boost your speed and improve your position. But those same heat cards can clog up your deck if you don't give your engine time to cool down. Finding the right balance between speed and control is the key to reaching the podium. To set up, start by placing the game board or racetrack in the middle of the table. For your first playthrough, the game suggests using the USA track. In the upper left corner, under the track's country, is the number of laps for the track. Again, if this is your first playthrough, consider racing just 1 lap to get a feel for the game. Next, each player should choose a color and take the matching car, player mat, gear pawn, and 15 starting cards. This includes 12 basic cards and 3 starting upgrade cards. Then look at the game board just beneath the laps. Here you'll find your starting heat and stress cards. Most tracks will show 6 heat and 3 stress. Give each player the appropriate number of each card type. Then return any remaining heat cards to the box. Keep the remaining stress cards close to the racetrack. Now let's set up your player mats. Start by placing it in front of you so that you can see the gauges along the top of the mat. Take the 6 heat cards and place them face up into the middle slot of your player mat. This is your engine. Take the 15 starting cards as well as the 3 stress cards and shuffle them together. Form a face-down draw deck to the left of your engine. The discard pile will be to the right of your engine. Then place the gear pawn on first gear, found in the bottom right corner of your player mat. Collect the cars from all players and mix them up. Randomly draw them to determine player order for the first round. Place the cars on the racetrack in their starting positions. And finally, each player should draw 7 cards from their deck for their starting hand. And with that, the setup is complete. A round of Heat is broken into 9 different steps, but the easiest way to think about your turn is this. First, decide how hard you want to push your car. Then you reveal your speed, and finally, you deal with the results. Before we jump into the round, we need to talk about the cards that give this game its name. Heat cards. At the beginning of the race, your heat cards start in your engine, with the exception of one of the upgrade cards that was shuffled into your deck. Understanding how these cards move throughout the game is the key to managing your race. Think of heat as how hard you can push your car beyond its normal limits. During the race, you'll spend heat to do things like shift gears faster, boost your speed, and push your car through corners. You will see reminders of when you can use heat with the flame symbol found in different locations on your player mat. When you spend heat, it moves out of your engine and into your discard pile. Eventually, those cards will get shuffled into your deck and start showing up in your hand. This is where managing your engine becomes important. Heat cards in your engine are useful, but heat cards in your hand slow you down because they cannot be played for movement and cannot be discarded like normal cards. The only way to move heat back into your engine is by cooling down, which we'll talk about later. So, throughout the race, you're constantly balancing when to push your car for extra speed and when to back off and regain control. Now that we've introduced heat, let's get behind the wheel and look at the steps of a round. The first 3 steps and last step of each round are mandatory for all players, indicated by this symbol here. The first 2 steps are done simultaneously. They are shift gears and play cards. You will start each round by selecting which gear your car is in. Selecting the gear will determine how many cards you will play this round. In first gear, you play 1 card, second gear, 2 cards, and so on. Everyone starts the game in first gear. You can stay in your current gear or shift up or down 1 gear for free. You can choose to shift up or down 2 gears, but you must pay 1 heat from your engine by moving it from your engine to your discard pile. You cannot shift 3 gears during this step and can only shift 2 gears if you have heat available in your engine. Once you have chosen your gear for the round, immediately move to the next step. play cards. Again, your gear will determine how many cards you must play. Look at your hand of 7 cards. Remember, if you have heat in your hand, it cannot be played. The other cards will have a number on them. Basic starting cards are numbered 1 through 4, and the 2 upgrade cards have a 0 and a 5 on them. These numbers combined will determine your speed this round, and also represent the number of spaces you will advance your car. Select the cards you want to play this round and place them above your mat, face down, to show you are ready. There is one more important card that we need to discuss, the stress card. Stress cards represent those moments where the driver reacts without thinking. You know you're moving, but you don't know exactly how fast until you commit. Like heat cards, stress cards cannot be discarded from your hand. The only way to get a stress card out of your hand is to play it during the play card step. I will explain how to resolve stress cards in the next step, reveal and move. Once all players have chosen their cards, we move into the reveal and move step. Starting with the car currently leading the race, each player will complete the remaining steps of the round before moving on to the next player. To understand player order, we need to understand the track. In the beginning, your positions are numbered, but once you pass the start line, you will need to pay attention to the race line. The race line is the bold white line found along the side of the racetrack, and it will change from the outside to the inside at different points during the race. Cars that are further ahead than others are easy to determine, but when cars are side by side, the car next to the race line is considered ahead. Once player order is determined, the lead car will reveal their cards and begin resolving their turn. Add the numbers on your cards together and move that many spaces. You should always end your movement in a space next to the race line, if available. When moving, other cars do not prevent you from passing through, even if the track looks blocked by 2 side-by-side cars. The only time your movement would be blocked is if you would end your movement in the same space as another car. When this happens, stop your movement in the first available space behind the blocking cars. Now, let's talk about how to resolve stress cards. If you played a stress card, you don't know your full speed yet. For each stress card played, reveal cards one at a time from the top of your deck until you reveal a basic card with a speed value of 1 to 4. Add that speed to your total movement for the round and place the basic card into your play area. Any other cards revealed during this process are placed into your discard pile. For example, if I played a 3-speed card and a stress card, I would start with a speed of 3. Then I reveal cards from my deck until I find a basic speed card. If I reveal this too, my total becomes 5, and I move my car 5 spaces. Remember, stress cards represent losing a little control, so sometimes they give you exactly what you need, and sometimes they push you faster than you want it to go. Now let's jump ahead a little in the step order. We just covered how to choose your gear, play cards, determine your speed, and move your car. But before we talk about the choices you make after moving, we first need to understand one of the most important parts of the game, checking corners. Because in heat, the goal is not just to move as fast as possible, you need to make sure your car can handle that speed. Going back to the board, in the upper left corner, close to the laps, is the number of corners found on this track. Each corner on the track has a speed limit shown at the quarter line. This number represents the maximum speed your car can safely handle when crossing that corner line. The important thing to remember is that corners are not checked when you enter them. You only check a corner if your car completely crosses the corner line during your movement. If your total speed for the round is equal to or lower than the speed limit, you successfully make it through the corner with no issues. But sometimes, winning a race means taking a risk and pushing your car beyond its limits. If your speed is higher than the corner limit, you must pay heat equal to the difference. For example, if I crossed the corner with a speed limit of 7, but my total speed this round was 9, I exceeded the corner by 2, so I must move 2 heat from my engine into my discard pile. As long as you have enough heat available, you maintain control and make it through the corner. But if you push your car too far and don't have enough heat available, you will spin out. Before we talk about exactly what happens when you lose control, let's go back and look at the decisions you can make before reaching this point. After moving your car, check to see if you receive adrenaline. Adrenaline is a small bonus given to the player currently at the back of the race to help them stay competitive. Since players resolve their turns from leader back, The last player to take their turn each round will receive adrenaline. In games with 5 or more players, the last 2 players will receive adrenaline. If you receive adrenaline, you will decide how to use that bonus during the next step, react. During the react step, players have the opportunity to adjust their car by cooling down their engine or pushing for extra speed. During this step, there are 3 things to consider: cooling down, using adrenaline if you received it this round, and boosting. First, if a player is in first or second gear, they may cool down their engine. To cool down, take heat cards from your hand and return them into your engine. The key here is that heat must come from your hand. The number of heat cards you can return is determined by your current gear. First gear allows you to cool down up to 3 heat, while second gear allows you to cool down 1. If you received adrenaline this round, you may use the adrenaline bonus during this step. Adrenaline allows you to increase your speed by 1, moving your card forward 1 additional space, and allows you to cool down 1 additional heat regardless of what gear you are in. Finally, players may boost their speed. To boost, pay 1 heat from your engine by moving it into your discard pile. Then, just like with stress cards, reveal cards from your deck one at a time until you reveal a basic card with a speed value between 1 and 4. Add that number to your speed and move your car forward that many additional spaces. Any other cards revealed during this process are placed into your discard pile. One important thing to note here: any speed gained during the react step, whether from adrenaline or boosting, is added to your total speed for the round. This means it will count when checking to see if your car safely makes it through a corner. After the react step, players move into slipstream. Slipstream represents using another car's draft to gain a little extra movement. This step is optional, but if your car is in the right position, it can help you catch up or even pass another player. When you reach the slipstream step, look at your current position on the track. If your car is directly behind another car, you may move forward up to 2 spaces if available. If 2 cars are side by side, the car further away from the race line is considered behind and may use slipstream. The important thing to remember is that slipstream does not increase your speed for the round. However, slipstream can move you across the corner line. If this happens, you will still check the corner, but you only use your total speed for the round, including played cards, adrenaline, and boosting. Do not count the additional spaces gained from slipstream. You may only slipstream once each round, and slipstream cannot be used to cross the finish line. Once slipstream has been resolved, it is time to check corners. Earlier we talked about how corners work, but now that all movement is complete, including any additional speed gained from adrenaline and boosting, it is time to see if your car stayed under control. Remember, you only check a corner if your car completely crossed the corner line during this round. If you crossed a corner, compare your total speed for the round to the speed limit shown on the corner. If your speed is equal to or lower than the limit, you safely make it through the corner and nothing happens. But if your speed is higher than the limit, you must pay heat equal to the difference. As long as you have enough heat available in your engine, you successfully make it through the corner. However, if you do not have enough heat available, your car spins out. When you spin out, move your car back to the first available space before the corner where you lost control. Then take stress cards from the supply and add them to your hand based on the gear you were in. If you were in first or second gear, add 1 stress card. If you were in third or fourth gear, add 2 stress cards. Finally, move your gear pawn back into first gear. Once you have finished the check corner step, we move into cleanup. First, discard any cards from your hand that you might not want to use next round. Remember, heat and stress cards cannot be discarded. Also, keep in mind you cannot look through the discard pile to see what cards have already been used. Then, collect all cards from your play area and place them in your discard as well. When you have finished discarding, the final step is to replenish your hand. Draw back up to 7 cards. This step is mandatory. If you ever need to draw a card and your draw deck is empty, shuffle your discard to create a new draw deck. But only shuffle the discard pile. Cards in your play area are not included because they have not been discarded yet. This matters most when resolving stress cards or boosting. If you run out of cards while revealing from your deck, shuffle only your discard pile and keep revealing until you find a basic speed card. Later, during the replenish hand step, the cards in your play area will finally move to your discard pile. After you have replenished your hand, the next player in race order will begin their reveal and move step and continue through the remaining steps. Once all players have finished their turns, the round is complete, and you will start again with shifting gears. So, let's quickly recap how a round works. All players begin by choosing their gear and playing cards at the same time. Then, starting with the car leading the race, each player will reveal their cards, determine their speed, and move their car. After moving, check for adrenaline, then use the react step to cool down your engine, use adrenaline if you received it, or boost your speed. Next, check to see if you can use slipstream to gain extra movement. Then, check any corners you crossed to see if your car stayed under control. Finally, discard any cards you no longer want and draw back up to 7. Continue playing rounds until a player crosses the finish line. When crossing the finish line, make sure to use all of your remaining movement. Do not stop your car on the finish line. Players will finish the current round, giving each remaining car a chance to cross the finish line. Remember, slipstream cannot be used to cross the finish line, and once you have crossed the finish line, you cannot use slipstream to move even further. However, any additional speed gained from cards, adrenaline, or boosting is still counted. If multiple players cross the finish line during the same round, the car that traveled the furthest past the finish line takes the higher position. If there is a tie, use the race line just like before to determine which car is ahead. Move finished cards to the podium based on their position and continue playing rounds until all cars have crossed the finish line. And that's how to play Heat, Pedal to the Metal. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to learn more great games. Turn the bell on to be notified of my latest videos. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer. And remember, it's not just how you play, it's how much fun you have. I'll see you next time on Board to Learn. There is one more card, important card. Then I reveal cards from the deck until I find a basic card speed. If your total speed for the round is equal to or lower than the speed limit, you successfully. You only check a corner if your car completely crosses the corner line during